The cost of IT in business can be staggering. From hardware and software expenses to services like internet and phone, you don't need to spend a fortune on IT to succeed. If your organization spends more than $500 monthly on any service, or you're considering signing a long-term contract, IT Enabled can help you manage your technology and minimize your costs. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation. IT Enabled, we're here to help.
Hi, I'm Tara Watson-Watkins, President and CEO of the Lufkin, Angelina County Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the Connect podcast, connecting business to the community. I'm here today with my co-host, Blake Pollino with BP Media Group.
This week, we have Shane Tatum with Integra Insurance Services on the podcast to talk about how they've built a 4-decade-long business in East Texas and what they do to make that successful and their core values and everything that goes with that. So let's jump into that episode now.
We're glad today to have Shane Tatum with Integra Insurance. Thanks for joining us, Shane.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great to be here.
Well, why don't you tell a little bit about your history, who you are, and then we'll talk about Integra.
Well, first, it's our 40th year.
Congratulations.
And so we're excited. 2023 is our 40th year. We were founded by my dad, so I'm second generation agency owner, and founded in '83. And so I joined the agency right out of college in 1995 and have been working head down, pushing ever since. And so, we have 31 employees today. We have offices in Huntington, Lufkin, and then up in Atlanta, Texas, Northeast Texas. And then we work with close to 120 contractors now across the state and across Louisiana. So, we've been steady growth and kind of, seen it all from 9/11 to the Great Recession to now a pandemic. Mm-hmm. One thing about insurance is it's resilient, and we're a part of a $6 trillion industry, which is crazy to say out loud. Yeah, it's really crazy. So we're an independent broker. So what that means is we have multiple carriers, multiple options when we work with customers, whether it's personal insurance or commercial insurance. And as opposed to say, there's the independent channel, which is what we're in the distribution of insurance. There's the exclusive channel, that would be like your State Farms and your Allstates. And then there's the direct channel, which is the big one there is Geico. So okay. We're on the independent side, and there's 40,000 of us across the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you say independent, so when someone comes to you with insurance needs, you're able to broker that across different companies? Yeah,
different companies.
Okay.
So like some of our major national brands we work with would be Travelers, mm-hmm. Safeco, Liberty Mutual, Hartford. We actually work with Allstate. We have a rural agent contract. I think it's the way they say that because we're in a small town, corporately based in a small town.
Right.
So Allstate actually works on the exclusive side. They work through all three channels. They work, Allstate works on the exclusive side, the captive side, and the independent side.
Well, as a company of 40 years, I know that you've got a set of core values that have been with y'all probably the whole time.
Yes.
Let's talk about those.
So core values are really important to us, and actually we didn't write them down till probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
And as we were growing and kind of coming out of a transition, my father passed away in 2015, so we had kind of this new era of, okay, now what? Because I was there, he was there. There was always kind of a backup plan. Mm-hmm. And so coming out of that time period around 2017, said, there needs to be more people that know what's going on. There needs to be a leadership team. And so I started developing and putting together a leadership team, a few folks who were always there, 20-year plus members of our organization who were kind of de facto leaders. Maybe they weren't named as such officially. And so as we started putting that together and thinking about that, we started thinking about, okay, we've always had core values, because we've always been there. And so, but we need to write them down. And so what we did is looked across the spectrum of our people and said, well, what's important? What was important to my father? What's important to me? What's important to my mother? Holly, Tara, individuals that have been there forever. And we came up with 5 core values. Honesty wins, earn your way, serve others, make it personal, and dependability. So those things, generally we bookend that with honesty wins and make it personal. And I love The Godfather. I love the Godfather movies. But, what we learned is it is personal, right?
That's right.
That business is personal. And, that is the opposite of what The Godfather says, but that doesn't play out in real life. And honesty wins obviously speaks for itself and kind of says what it needs to say.
That phrase, I can't tell you how many times my husband has said, it's not personal. And I say, but it's personal to me. Yeah. It's personal to me.
Well, you've got mail, right?
Yeah.
Made it.
That's right.
I'm a movie
I love
quote
that
guy,
movie.
Oh, I love that.
It's a great one.
So you've got mail. Well, it's personal to me.
It is. It is personal to me.
Yeah.
So I think that's great. And, I think that your core values shine through in your employees that work for you, truly.
Right.
We have the opportunity to work with Integra. Y'all take care of some stuff here for us at the chamber. And, we deal with Brian all the time.
Yes.
He's fantastic. And I always love the fact that, he's always like, I don't know, but give me an hour and I'll go find it and I'll be back. And then, of course, Melissa, who's our Diplomat of the Year.
Yes.
Does fantastic stuff for us. And they both stand for, and I'm sure that the rest of your employees stand for those core values.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, our people, our business is just people, right? That's what a business is.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of long tenured people. We don't have a lot of turnover. We've been very, very blessed through the great resignation, so to speak, of not losing people. And I think that's been a testament to the core values, the culture, and just who they are. I mean, really, at the end of the day. And, Melissa is a really good example of someone that really transitioned internally to a different role. And, I challenged her to do all the things that I couldn't do or I didn't want to do anymore, which is really cool because she's done that. If you haven't heard of Integra in Angelina County in the last 15 months, then you are either brand new and just got here yesterday or you've been living under a rock. Yeah. And so she has just been an incredible addition in community relations for us.
That's great.
So to be in business for 4 decades, how would you attribute the success of that? Where does that come from?
Well, so I'm a big Simon Sinek guy. I don't know if y'all have heard of Simon Sinek. Start with Why. And he wrote a book called The Infinite Game. And I really kind of gravitated to that. Business, it's hard to win and lose at business, right? And you kind of put it in the context of playing a game, right? A baseball game or a basketball game. And, you have a winner and you have a loser. I think business, in my mind, we've transitioned to staying in the game, right? That the idea of business is staying in the game, and that being able to perpetuate that is extremely important. I think client experience. I think that our client experience focus, you talk about Brian earlier, just the way that we, the tone we use, the making it personal, the understanding that we live in a world within the insurance industry, our business, it's kind of a mandate industry, a mandate product. It's not fun. Nobody loves to have to deal with insurance. And so how do we take that edge off? How do we make it personal, put ourselves in that client's shoes and realize first and foremost that, for them, somebody's told them they had to buy this, either their bank or the government or a contract, right? If they're a commercial business, a contractor, they're usually operating under some insurance requirement, and the reality of the insurance business is that insurance policies are contracts. Insurance policies are written by attorneys. They're litigated by attorneys. They're defended by attorneys. And so, and I love my attorney friends. That's not a shot. That's not a shot. That's not a shot. I'm just saying the reality of it is it's a contract, and it's an intangible. And when you need it, you want it to work. When you don't need it, then count your blessings. But it's still frustrating because you pay all this money, right? And so, I think it's this reality of the industry we live in, and understanding that we have to go the extra mile when it comes to client experience.
Right.
So,
great answer.
I go back to client experience, and it's imperative, investors are our clients for the chamber. It's imperative that investors feel welcomed and they feel wanted and needed and appreciated. And I think that goes across all industries, no matter what, no matter if it's insurance or photography and videography, if it's the chamber world, everybody just wants to feel like that they are accepted and a part of something, and that they're happy to participate in whatever they're participating in. And I go back to Brian because that is my client experience, is that, he makes things very easy, because I don't talk your language.
Right.
And so I think it's really important that you find, whether it's someone with Integra or someone with State Farm or someone with Morgan Insurance, we have so many great options in Angelina County, but find the place that makes you feel empowered and knowledgeable about the decision that you're making, so that you have the tools to make the right decisions for you.
Yeah, I think, insurance agents, brokers, they're all small businesses. I mean, there's the 0.1%, publicly traded brokers, global brokers, but there's 40,000 independent brokers across the country, and they're mostly like 86% or something like that have less than 10 employees.
Wow.
So they are the community. They're in the community. And I think that that is something, as you think about, a chamber investor, as you think about, what you do, what you guys do here. We're a small business just like any other small business. We don't have somebody, doing payroll for us, or, doing outsourcing things or whatever. It's people right here in the community. We employ the majority of our folks right here in Angelina County.
That's right. Well, so you're celebrating 40 years. What are you doing to celebrate this year?
Oh, wow. Melissa has a whole menu of things going on. Obviously, lots of chamber events, right?
We appreciate it.
Yep. So we'll continue to be extremely involved in the chamber. We have, I think, a fall kind of somewhere around the Huntington Catfish Festival timeline. Nice. We're gonna have a big day. We're gonna have big, like a big lunch in the parking lot.
Nice.
Block it off. Papa's Pit, barbecue right across the street. I've already talked to those guys. They're gonna help us out and cater all that, and so we're gonna have a big barbecue down in Huntington in the fall. And then, of course, we have all of our contractors. We bring them in. I say we bring them in. This year we're going to the Austin area. We have a conference of all of our sales folks and all of our contractor folks. And so we're doing that in April, and that actually is a 10-year anniversary of that conference on our 40-year organization anniversary.
Nice.
So kind of double dipping there.
Very cool.
That's right. Well, let us know how we can help celebrate you and help celebrate your wins for 40 years. But we appreciate you being on and letting the community know a little bit more about Integra and your core values and what you were built on.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much for listening again this week. We truly appreciate your support. If you'll do us a favor, if you will rate and review the podcast wherever you're listening, that just helps other people like you find this podcast if that's something that they might be interested in. Thank you so much, and we will see you next week.